All right, we did it. We're back. This better work. Let's make this happen. Round two. Please, God, let the audio work. I had a couple buttons kind of figuring out this self studio. All right, we did it. Yes. Woo! You can't tag people, anyone right now. Oh, disagree. I disagreed with their decision. Facebook just notified me, and I love Facebook. You can go to Parlor, you can go to the parlor, you can go to the barber, but I'm staying here. Even if they do censor, whatever it is, that's all good. Censor whatever you want. We're hanging out. We're having fun. I want to tell you the real true story about how I started this dream company, my dollar in a dream story, which is really more than Stephen Munson, even though sometimes it's the Stephen Munson show. It actually began a long time like that, the Munson show. I failed miserably to get here, and I did tag a few key people. I could have tagged a lot of people, but Facebook restricted me from tagging. Put a bunch of ones if you can hear me. Also, where are you in the world today? You know, where are you? How you feeling? What's going on? I got this really cool story that I think that you're going to love hearing. So I know if you're really busy, it's hard to watch and pay attention to something on Facebook. But I promise you, if you spend the next few minutes with me, I'm going to just tell you the most amazing story about life, about entrepreneurship, about friends, family, love, victory, and overcoming things in your life. So if you will, though, if you can just invite one of your friends, maybe a friend who needs just something of inspiration or motivation, or they're in a tough place, or someone that you love, go ahead and just share it with them so they can join in on this and just hear this really cool story about how this dollar in a dream business came to be. You know, it wasn't that I just woke up one day with a dollar and started a business and it took off. In fact, it was a tremendous battle to get to that space. But I want to kind of go to a specific time when really everything changed in my life. And it was me asking someone for help. And I want to recognize Knicole because she just made this awesome post on Facebook, and it kind of just got me excited. And, you know, it's because Deborah Swanson, who I'm also going to mention in here, and many others. But so I want to just go and tell you a cool little story if you would like to hear it. If you want to hear it, say story below. I think it's part funny and part fascinating how it actually happened. At the end of 2017, I was struggling. I was in my little condo right here, and I can see all your comments and I can see everybody. So thanks for being here. And if you invite somebody, thanks for inviting. And you can feel free to share it as well. So good to see you, Sean and Tracy and LaDonna and Deborah and Rosalind, Tracy, Bartley, some new friends and some old friends. If we do not know each other yet, just comment new so I have a chance to get to connect with you. And here we go. So at the end of 2017, I was about 3 full years and almost 4 years into Heal. And I mean, if you could look up failure in the dictionary of starting a business, it was me. I had done so much. I already spent the 10,000 hours that, like in the outliers, it takes 10,000 hours to master your craft. I'd already did the 10,000 hours. I had already tried to launch the company 3 different times. I was at that point nearly $200,000 in debt. And I had went to Colorado in a very humble way. You know, I went there and I got a job at Vail Resorts working $10 an hour as a busboy. literally picking up dishes for rich people at vacationing. And I wouldn't say it was like a bad experience, but it was humbling. I was living in a little bunk bed place with my mom. We shared bunk beds. And eventually our other friend came to move there. His name's Lane, who I tagged here as well because he's a big part of this story. And, you know, as I was just going through this time in my life, I realized that I had put the cart before the horse. And I had really gotten away from what heal was because it was a vision that was given to me. I really know, I'm convicted, I believe, I know it was a vision given to me by God. God gave me this vision and said, hey, look, if you just follow this, I'll give you the provision to do it. But I tried to do it my own way. And my own way didn't work. And if you try to do things your own way, it's not working. The key is this, and write this down. Get out of your way. And so when I went and made that humble decision, because I just tried to launch the company in Cocoa Beach, I had people that wanted to sign up and our website didn't work, our system didn't work. And then after that, I lost the potential and the momentum. And then I had to reach out, you know, to my friends, Vince and Eric, who Dave Sharp introduced me to them. And they're the most talented designer, developer that I know in the online affiliate marketing space. And they started working with me, even though I had no money. And they were like, hey, you know, we like the vision of this, so we'll do it. Even though we normally don't do this, like we've never done this, we need to get paid in front. And I'm like, I have no money left. And so they even helped me. And after they helped me, I had nothing happened. So I started to wonder, like, what's the problem? And then I realized the problem was me. And I had to humble myself, and I did. And when I came back to Cocoa Beach, we had this awesome experience that many of you were part of. We helped, you know, adopt this family, and like 70 people flew in. And we were all wearing the heel shirts. It was the first time ever anyone wore the heel shirts in a community setting. Before that, it was just me wearing them. And we were all together and we did something called service. So first we served. And during that time, I remember being at that house and I was like, I had this prayer. And when I was in that moment, I felt like I was where I needed to be. And I started to, you know, I went across the street to my apartment and I started to like wonder, like, maybe Heal's supposed to be like a nonprofit and I shouldn't have done this business thing. And at that point, I thought it should have been an MLM. And later I realized it's not supposed to be an MLM. It's not an MLM. In fact, we serve many people who are in MLM or network marketing or any sort of entrepreneur that's trying to build a business online and or build a business in a better way. You know, what Heal really does is we teach you those skills that are needed that don't get taught very often. You know, your personal skills, which is like transformation, being happy, peaceful, self-worth, all of those personal things, but we also teach you the entrepreneurial skills of sales, marketing, branding, customer acquisition, you know, in order to build your business. And so I was in this conflict of a space. Dude, you failed like for 3 years, you're $200,000 in debt. My friends, you know, my close friends, my accountant, like everyone's like, go another way. Like just do the blue collar thing. Anyone would hire you. Like you could get paid $250,000 a year, like with any company they'll hire you. And I'm just like, yeah, but I feel like I would be miserable doing that. And I sat in my apartment. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a credit card. It wasn't my place. It was my mom's. I didn't have any money in the bank. And I remember like calling my friend Knicole. I was like, hey, would you help me? Like, you know, I'm trying to get this like van. Sorry, my phone is just cha-chinging. This is when sales are rolling into Heal, and I normally don't turn it off, but I don't know if it's distracting anyone. So if it's distracting you, just say off and I'll just turn it off. But I kind of like it because this is cash flow, and every business needs cash flow to flow into their life. And I'm getting to this point, and I really want you to connect with what I'm saying here. I sat there and I called a friend. I said, would you help me? I applied to get this car and they denied me. And then they called back and said, I can get it. I needed like a $4,000 down payment. I had literally like $1.50 or $50 or $100. And she's like, I'll send you a Bitcoin. At that time, I think Bitcoin was worth like $3,000. She literally sent me a Bitcoin. I don't know if I've ever really told everybody this story, and she wanted to keep it private because she's a servant-driven leader. She helps people behind the scenes. She doesn't brag or boast about it. She goes out of her way to help people that she believes in. Now, I know that she was being tugged in her heart, like, help this guy. Something's going to happen here. And I'll help him, and I want to get a van so I can live in it and drive around the country and write this book called It's Worth It. Because I'm like, I'll just keep writing the book and something will happen. And then a new door of opportunity opened. I ended up getting the van, never drove it, parked it, packed my bags, and flew to Portugal. Now, the reason that happened is another friend, Paulo Barroso, calls me out of nowhere and said, Steven, are you still shooting videos, you and Cocoa Beach? I'm in Orlando. We need a camera guy. And at that point, everyone kind of knew me as the camera guy. That's kind of how I met Knicole when I first met her kids. I went to Portland with Lane and I shot a video with her son, and it was one of the most touching, powerful, incredible experiences. And as she shares her side of it, she's like, Jimmy never really opens up to anybody. And when I sat down there with him, he just opened up. He like blossomed as I got into his presence. And I had a camera and I made the video. And in fact, I'm going to drop the video here later just so you can kind of see. It was so touching. And so she had this connection there. And I think she believed, she saw the vision of what could happen in the future. And it's all about vision. I didn't want to give up. Paulo Barroso calls me, are you still the cameraman? And that opened up a door. I packed my bags. I flew to Portugal. I was there for a month where I worked a little bit with a team to help create a marketing system in English. They were doing it in other languages. And when I was there in Portugal, I was kind of in this divide. I got an opportunity to come back to America to work for somebody else. And I'm like, he's like, I'll give you a first-class flight. I'll give you a condo when you get here, a car. I even got a motorcycle for you, and we'll provide you with all the resources that you need in order to crush it with us. And I was seriously thinking about that. And I had to make a decision. Do I take that guaranteed route, which seemed as so, or do I follow my dreams? And it was so hard because I had no money to work with. But I was like, God was pulling me and said, go east, go east. And I'm like, dude, I live west. My mom calls me when I'm in Budapest, Hungary, and I'm hungry because I'm out of money. She knows I'm out of money. My phone was just shut off. I told everyone on social media, which is something that not everybody understands about me. They judge because they don't take a look. But I'm the kind of guy who I've literally shared it all. Like I had no money and I ran out of money and my phone got shut off and I posted on social media. I wasn't faking it until I made it. I was just being me, which is my big tip for all of you. Be you. The world loves you as you are. It's that authentic, raw, real you. And I'm a great storyteller, and I knew I had skills and talents, but I had no opportunity at that point to relaunch this dream. And my mom calls me and she says, Steven, are you all right? I really think you should come home. I'm like, can't. I just can't. I can't go home. Because if I go home, I give up. I don't know how to give up. I gave up when I was young. And when I lost everything when I was young is when I gave up. I was like, I can't give up. I'm not getting any younger. But it was because of what I was feeling in my spirit. I had to take a leap of faith. So I'm like, I want to. It sounds safe, maybe even smart, but I'm not doing it. And I saw this video my friend Jabril made from Passport Heavy, and it was heavy, and he was like comparing the prices of living in Miami to Thailand. And when he gave this video, I'm like, man, maybe I should go to Thailand. And fortunately, I got like, I think it was $550. And it was on a Monday. I started looking for flights to Thailand from Budapest, Hungary. I'm in an Airbnb. I can remember the exact place I was in. And I looked at the flights, and the flights were like $800. So I'm like, I only got $550. I'm not calling anyone, right now to ask them for help. I need to just figure this out. So I started getting real creative with searching for flights. And I'm like, I will literally take a boat, a train. I'll go to Zimbabwe, Uruguay. I'll fly anywhere to get to Thailand right now. And I don't know exactly why I felt like I had to go to Thailand. But in my mind, I'm like, if I can just get there, I can live off hardly anything. So, all right. And I'm trying to make this brand of the world traveler. That's what I've been saying. I'm the world traveler. I'm the world traveler. My friend Jeff Jones like, bro, you're not really a world traveler. I mean, you're not even really traveling. And then I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to travel. And then I just started to travel. I'm like, I don't want to give up because I want to write this book called It's Worth It. And so in the back of my mind, I want to write this book. I got to do this book. And I was thinking about Heal like it was just in my heart. It wasn't going to be a business. I had failed already. I wasn't giving up, but I just knew it was worth it to keep going. So I find like a flight that goes from Budapest, Hungary to Egypt on a one-way, and then from Egypt into Bangkok. I'm like, it was like $555. And I'm literally looking there like, I got $550. And the flight leaves tomorrow. So I just booked the flight. Got my bag, got up early. And as I'm on the way to the airport, it dawns on me. I'm not going to be able to pay for my luggage, and I already remembered I had to get it was like a public transportation to the airport. I can't remember that exact part, but it wasn't like an easy thing to go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so horrible. How am I going to get my luggage on? Because I knew that cheap flight I had to pay luggage. It was like $50 for my bag. So guess what I did? I called a friend. Hey, Knicole, I'm sorry to ask you this. Is there any way you could send me enough money to pay for my luggage to get on a flight to go to Thailand? Now, I told her, I was like, I haven't told anyone. I haven't told my mom or my dad or anyone. And I already got my flight and I'm going. And she's like, you're going to Thailand? I'm so jealous. She sends me money within like seconds. I pay for my luggage. The flight, I get to Egypt. I'm so hungry. And I'm like, man, I should have asked her for like $150. And I'm just starving. And there's like a 6-hour layover. And I was like, all right, I'm getting something. I ate like a piece of bread with, I think it was like a cheeseburger or something. It was the best cheeseburger ever. And then I'm like, I got to get on this 10-hour flight to Thailand. So I'm like excited and nervous. And I'm like always lucky when I get on flights, like always lucky. Sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit. My nose is running. And thank you for sharing this video, by the way, and commenting below. I always read all your comments. I'm like, all right, I get on last because I figured this. Like, if I get on last, I don't have the chance. Now when I travel, it's different. I'm always getting good seats. I have the money to get good seats. I've become an expert traveler through this experience. I'm dialed in when I get on the flight. I got upgrades and all that cool stuff. But then I had nothing and no money. So I had a seat and it was like 38E or something. So I'm like, it'll be fine. I'm going to get on last and see if there's any open seats. And I get on. It's the stinkiest, most crowded, just tiny seat flight. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be crazy. They wouldn't even let you bring water in your backpack. So I had a huge thing of water because I'm like, I got to stay hydrated. It's an overnight flight. So it's like I woke up at 5 in the morning. I flew to Egypt. I ate my cheeseburger. I'm getting on this flight at like, I sit in this little airport for 6 hours. Then I'm like getting on this flight at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I got to fly for 10 more hours. So I'm at least want to hydrate and sleep and have a nice seat. I get the worst seat in the entire plane. Now, trust me, I've taken at this point thousands of flights. That was the worst seat ever in my life. I sit down. There's this person who's taking up more than my seat. They're like into my chair. It's like stuff next to the toilet. The seat won't recline. And it's like, oh man, this is going to be brutal. So I sit down. And then it happens. Gratitude is the attitude that's going to get you where you want to go. And when I sat down, I started just to really fill my heart with gratitude. I was panicking a little bit because I'm like, all right, what am I going to do when I actually get to Thailand? I don't really have any money or any place to stay. I don't know anybody or anything. I don't really know what I'm going to do when I get there. And I was worried. Sometimes you start thinking about the things that you don't have too much. And when I sat my seat down, God said, boom, we're going to think about something different. Happiness, gratitude. You're going to Thailand. This is a dream come true. And you got your laptop. It's fully charged. Your friend just helped you out to get on this flight. What's going to happen when you land and you get to make a video live from Thailand? Because I've been making them in every country. I did a 4-hour live in Budapest walking through the city. I don't know if you've seen it, but comment below 4 hours if you saw that. So I'm like, this is going to be good for the World Traveler brand and incredible for the It's Worth It book. So I sat down and I got it right here in front of me. I started to write and I wrote it is a riveting story. And as I wrote it, I was just like, here's the title of it. Hold on. I got all these chapters. Where is it? Oh, this book's going to be straight fire. The Hurricane, Trapped by Your Title. Oh, man. Come on, where's it at? Oh, you know what it is? I keep it at the top. Where is it? Give me a moment. I'm doing my thing. Have a glass of water. Being uncomfortable in comfortable situations. And so when I sat down there in the most uncomfortable place, I don't know if you have ever experienced anything like that. Imagine going as far as you possibly can from home with nothing. No plan, no money, just your laptop and this brilliant idea to write a book on the other side of the world. And I started to type, and I got so dialed into it, and I was like, man, this is good. I'm sitting there, and this person's like, I mean, look, they were stinky, sweaty. The place, it smelled like just a farm and a zoo and a sewer. It was hot. The seat was weird. It was like, dude, this is the worst. I mean, it was uncomfortable. And as I'm sitting there, I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't good. And then my heart filled with gratitude. And all of a sudden, I started to get into this flow state. And I typed nonstop, just typing and typing and typing and talking about all those times in my life when I got out of my comfort zone is when the biggest breakthrough happened. It wasn't in my comfort zone. So it was like, you should be really uncomfortable in comfortable situations because you are not growing if you're comfortable. And you'll read the book when I publish it. It's riveting, this chapter. And if you're fortunate enough to watch this live and then eventually read it, you'll hear some of the backstory. But I'll keep going because I know time is precious. I get there and I land. And my first goal, now I've basically been up for like 48 hours at this point. I get there and land. I go through customs. I'm kind of fired up and excited. I walk out and I'm like, all right, let's see what I can do. I check my bank and there is like, nothing. It was like I'm checking all my cards and I think I had a Bitcoin ATM card and I got as much as I could, which was let's call it $15. Now $15 in Thailand, it's about 500 baht. So I get, and I'm like, should I get a taxi or a bus or whatever? And it's super hard to figure it out. You walk outside, you can get a taxi, and they'll take you literally the other side of the town for 500 baht if you're a tourist. I then learned they'll do the same thing for 150 baht, which is about $3 to $4. So I'm like, okay, cool. I get a taxi to the exact same place that I saw in the video that Jabril did. And I'm like, the sun was setting. I'm going to get to the roof up there and I'm going to take a photo and I'm going to do a live. As I get there, I got my backpack and my travel bag. I walk into the Marriott. It's beautiful. And I'm like, resort life, baby. I go right to the rooftop. What can we get you? You want an appetizer or drink? I'm like, I'm good. I'm real good. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. But I pull out my camera and I go like this. And I jump on I take a selfie. I'll post it down there and I start doing a Facebook Live. I made it to Thailand. Now, at this point, only Knicole knew. And then I had let my parents know when I landed. So everyone's like, you're in Thailand? How'd you get to Thailand? And so I'm not going into many details with them, but I get a phone call out of nowhere right during that live. Steven, if you're in Bangkok, you should stay at our condo. We're never there. And I hear this message and I'm like, Lisa Grossman? I call her back. It's Lisa Grossman and Curtis. If someone could tag them on this post. Actually, I can probably tag them real quick. And she says to me, hey, we have a condo in Bangkok and no one's ever there. You should stay there. If someone could just tag them, it'd probably be easier, I guess. I'm like, really? That sounds amazing. And so she's like, why are you in Thailand? I'm like, oh, I'm just traveling around and doing this thing. And I don't tell them I have no money in my pocket. I just say, God is full of miracles and surprises when we get out of our comfort zone. And so Curtis gets on the phone. I remember the call like yesterday. He goes, all right, all you're going to do is you're going to go downstairs. You're going to tell the taxi to take you to Ratchada. And he said, it's Ratchada next to the Esplanade Mall. He tells me the exact address. And when you get there, everything will be set up for you. We've already called and let them know that you're showing up. So I'm sitting there thinking, honestly, in the back of my mind, it's like this, I don't know, like this little like place in Bangkok. So the taxi driver takes me there. I get there and I walk up, and it's called the Amanta Ratchada. And there's a sign that says, Paradise within the city. The city's busy. Bangkok is like the concrete jungle. There's horns, there's noises, there's people everywhere. It's right next door to the night market. Now, I walk in and I said, hey, my name's Stephen Munson. I think Curtis. Oh yeah, we've been expecting you. Here's your key. We'll show you your room. They grab my bags, walk in, and I'm like, dude, look at this 2-bedroom condo. Like, that's beautiful. And I don't know much about it. Like, I don't know what's going on or how long I can stay or if they're showing up or any of that. So I'm like, 2 nice rooms, jacuzzi, bath, beautiful view, pool out there, like everything you can imagine. And I remember sleeping that night like, whoo, this is crazy. Like, life is good. And Curtis calls me the next morning. He goes, hey, I think you can get breakfast included with it. And there's like this full breakfast buffet that I could go down there and get. And he said, you know, how long are you going to stay? I'm like, you know, a couple days. I'll probably like go to Chiang Mai and check things out. And I'll probably be in Thailand for like 7 days. Now, at this point, I only been staying in each city for 1 to 3 days max. A lot of it had to do with money, but also I wanted to see the world. And so he goes, you know, I understand that, and you can do whatever you want. We're not going to be there for a few months. So we want to encourage you just to hang out for a little bit. Enjoy it. He's like, you can't really learn much about Thailand in 3 days. So if you want, stay for a month. Stay as long as you want. You're our guest. And I'm like, he doesn't know I don't have any money. No one really knows this. And I'm just sitting there like, man, I'm on top of the world. Now I got a place to stay, which was a big part of the money problem. Now, at that point, I was making a little bit of money each day. My goal was $100 a day. Some days I would hit it, and some days I wouldn't. Just a little bit of money coming in. Because $100 a day in Europe is tough. $100 in America is tough. $100 a day in Thailand is easy. You can live like a king in Thailand, especially when you have a 2-bedroom condo. So I'm like, I'm going to get some pad thai. I'm going to get some, I'm going to eat anything and everything. I'm so hungry. I'm enjoying my first day and I'm walking around, and I'm not going to tell the entire story. I'm going to tell just a little bit more and then finish this up. So, you know, after like a couple days, I'm just like, man, this country is so cool. The people are awesome. The food is incredible. Everything is so cheap. I mean, I'm getting a coconut for 25 cents and mangoes for $0.25. I'm getting food for $1.50 a meal. So I'm like, I can make it happen. But it was kind of weird because I'm like, I don't really want to impose and stay here too long. And I remember like every card that I have. And at this point, I have no credit cards. I have all these little debit cards. Every card I have, even if it had $20 on it, it wouldn't work. I would go to every ATM and nothing would work. I remember one day spending literally hours trying to do anything and everything to go to like the machine and get a little money out. Now, I don't want to like call anyone else and say, hey, can you loan me the money or help me out at this point? Because I feel like I'd already asked and I don't want to ask anymore. And I'm like, I remember going to every Subway, every ATM, and I'm like, nowhere takes a Discover card. And that was the only thing that I had $50 on. I'm like, I got $50 on this Discover card. I know if I somehow can like get this $50, like that would be a huge like stress reliever. And this was so crazy. After looking everywhere for hours, guess where I find the only ATM that I ever found in Thailand that accepted the Discover card? Right below the Subway that's directly below where Lisa and Curtis's home was. You walk out, you take a left, and you walk right down the Subway, and it was there the whole time. And when I put it in, I'm like, all right, I do the calculations. I'm like, I can't get 3,000 Thai baht because that's like $90. I can't even get 2,000 Thai baht because that's $60. I only got 50. So I put it in, and this is after failing for 8 hours. I don't know if you've ever put a card in the machine and you're like, please give me the money out. Or if you ever went up and like tried to buy food and you put the thing in the machine and it like declines and you're like, oh no, because I'm like, I could just go to the grocery store and buy $50 groceries and eat for a week. It wouldn't work in any stores. And so I remember that day when I put it in and it started going that noise. You know the noise when the money's coming out? Like, and out came a crisp 1,000 Thai baht, 1,000 Thai baht, which is equivalent to about 30 American dollars. I'm like, I should try it again. I put it back in. Guess what? I got another 500. So at this point, I got 1,500 Thai baht. The card's toast. It won't work again because now it's like you can't do it again because the minimum amount. I got 1,500. This is it. Now that's like $45. If you back up 4 days before that, when I check my bank account, I have a screenshot of it. It's not in a figment of my imagination. I have an actual screenshot from the day that I landed in Thailand. I had $1.71 in my bank account. No joke. I was scrambling. A big door of opportunity opened when Lisa and Curtis blessed me to stay at their place. If it wasn't for Knicole, I would have never gotten on that flight. If it wasn't for the guy Jabril who made that video, I would have never went to Thailand. And when I was there, I wasn't thinking like, oh, something cool is going to happen. I'm like, this is cool. I'm in Thailand. How can I get out of here like and go see the rest of Thailand? How could I like do things and explore and have fun? Well, 7 days had gone by. I'm still at the house. I'm just eating, a simple day-to-day thing. You could spend $5 or $10 a day in Thailand and eat and survive. I mean, you could spend like 3 if you really needed to, and a lot of Thai people do. And I'm 7 days into it, and I'm walking in the mall that's right next door to where Lisa and Curtis live. And I see this sign. It says Asian Pharmaceutical Publicly Traded Company. And that day I'd been looking all day because I felt this radical inflammation building up inside of me that I had dealt with 3 years ago. That's at that point, CBD was the only thing that helped me, but it was like a liquid Band-Aid. Like I would have to take it all day long. And when I left Budapest, I was scared to take CBD with me to Thailand. So I literally drank the last of it, threw it away because I didn't want to get in shackles, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be like in the Thai prison where they're like whipping you. I thought like that would be cool for the book, but I don't know if like the American embassy is gonna come get me because I had the CBD. So it's kind of like that story, if you've never been anywhere before, you think like, oh, you're going to go to Thailand and, it's like crazy dangerous and all this stuff could happen, which is literally not true. They don't have a tolerance for drugs, but it's not even true. Okay. It's not like that. Now, you don't want to go to Thai prison, but that was my worry. So that 7th day, I wake up in the morning and I make a video that's still on my Facebook timeline. And the video was this: humble beginnings, so prosperous the future may be. Job 8:7. That was the morning of this all happening. I made this video on my Facebook timeline, not knowing what the future may hold. Humble beginnings, so prosperous the future may be. And I went around town. I found the Asian phytoceuticals. I walked in and I had my Facebook Live going on. And I'm like, hey, what do you guys got there? And they have this chart. And the chart was almost like everything that I felt like I was dealing with. And I'm like, can I get this green thing? You know, like, this is what I want. This green box. And he's like, yeah, sure. You know, and he like gets it ready. And it's like $60. And I'm sitting there like, dude, am I really going to spend my everything I got, like everything that I possibly have on this box of pills? But the chart looked so like it was me. So I'm like, you know, it was $58, let's call it. And I'm like spending $60. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing that I ever did, but I'm just doing it anyhow. And after I buy it, a man walks up to me and he goes, hello, in perfect English. He looks important. He sits down and goes, what brings you here? And I'm holding like my camera, my phone live, and my other camera, which, by the way, Knicole, you know, sent me that camera, and we didn't tell anyone forever. I didn't even know for so long, but she was the one who sent it. Now you all know, when I had this camera just mysteriously show up, which was a year earlier, and she gave me that camera. It took us a long time to figure it out, but I know it was her. She won't admit it, but I just know it was her. So I'm holding this camera. I'm on a Facebook Live, and this man walks up to me, and I'm talking to him for a minute. I said, yeah, I'm just traveling through, and I love plant-based health, medicine, and so does everyone else I know. And he said, that's awesome. I go, hey, could I interview you sometime? He goes, sure. How about Monday at 11 o'clock? I'm like, fine. He gives me his email to confirm with his secretary, and I confirm it. And I leave home like, that was awesome. I got these pills, and, you know, I'm like, it's probably a Thursday. I take the pills that night. I wake up in the middle of the night, like with this raging migraine, like, dude, this is what is going on. I must have ate something crazy. Like, holy cow, I felt like I was hungover from Vegas like 18 days straight. Like, this is not good. And I'm like rolling around that night, like at the house, like, whew, this is horrible. What did I eat? Like, what is going on? And then, like, it just kind of went on for a couple days. Around the 3rd day, which was a Sunday, I wake up, and for the first time since years before, 3+ years, 4 years, when I had all this inflammation on my face, my fingers, my body. My friend had died from cancer in Hawaii, and I thought I was going to die, and I never know like what's going on. I'm like, I don't even want to think about cancer because I believe that the thought of cancer is worse than cancer itself. So I'm like, I'm being positive, but there's something wrong with me. And I realized a long time ago it was the resentment and the bitterness and the stress and the guilt and the shame, and it was really the resentment. And I was overcoming it, though, and I started to feel this inflammation. I know the CBD. I'm like, what is going on? And I take these pills for a couple days, and I woke up that morning, and I felt, for the first time in a long time, calm. Nothing, it's gone. Like that feeling, I don't know if you've ever felt what radical inflammation feels like on your face or on your leg. It was gone. When it starts to swell, it's weird because I want to make videos and my face starts to swell. I'm like, dude, I got like a disease, or like, what's going on with me? And then you feel like embarrassed and like strange about making the video. You don't even want to go outside because you feel so weird. And it was gone. And I'm like, Wonder what happened. I started thinking like, dude, maybe it's those like pills. Now later I realized that I had a healing crisis and that my immune system was messed up. And that these things helped me. Now I didn't really know what they were. And then I got this interview the next day. Now I'm almost done. Hang out for another minute. It's worth it. And I'm like, I got this interview the next day, so I'm like, I got to get ready. I don't want to be late. I got to go in there. I got to get a couple questions ready. And all I want to do is interview the guy. And I get all ready, and I call the Uber, and the Uber picks me up, and he goes, where are you going? Here. I go, here. He goes, that's next door. You don't need Uber. I go, oh, really? So I literally walk out of Lisa and Curtis's place, like walk out, and their office is next door. You can actually see it from my balcony. It's like there. I walk up. I go to the front. It's a 30-story building or like 40 stories or whatever. And they're on the 30th story. They own the entire top floor. I don't know much about this company. I don't know it's a 40-year-old publicly traded company. I don't know that they've helped thousands of people with different issues. I don't know much about the Dr. Pacheck guy. I didn't know he was the king of mangosteen. I didn't know he'd been doing this for over 40 years. I just walk in and I sit down and there's a doctor and Dr. Pacheck. This doctor is a certified, board certified, U.S. certified, works with children, like all of these cool things. I sit down and he asked me right away, would you be interested? Now, I'm supposed to be interviewing you. He goes, would you be interested in marketing our products in America? Because we've been looking for someone. And I'm sitting in the back of my mind like, yes, I would be. Now, I don't want to tell him I've got like $80 left or $100 to my name. I don't want to tell him any of that. 100%. Let's do this. He goes, all right, we'll set up a deal. How many boxes you think you can sell? Like, I can sell them all. Like I go, I don't know, but we'll make something happen. I go, what's the price of the box? How can we do this? And so we work out a little deal, like literally within minutes. And I'm leaving like, dude, I didn't interview that guy. What just happened there? I go home, I make a video, and I say, hey, look, these products, I'm going to be selling these products right now. And guess what happens? Everybody who's watching these lives starts to buy them. Within a matter of hours, I have $12,000 come into my Facebook money because I don't know where else to send it. I don't have any links. I don't have any like websites, nothing. I go home. I think I sat down and like just said, all right, if you want to buy it, it's this much a box. I don't know how we're going to get it to you, but we'll get it to you. I don't know like much about it, but we're doing this. If you're doing this, let's do it. Let's roll together. And people just started sending me money. Now, the funny thing is this, in the back of my mind, and let me back up a minute. Dr. Pacheck said the minimum order, like the minimum that we can send, I think it was like 100 boxes. He's like, we don't really want to do that. So I figured out like, how am I going to pay for these 100 boxes? And then I'm not really thinking this through, like, how long does it take them to get to America? And then when they get there, like, how are we going to get them to the customer? And I was like, all right. So we figured that out. I remember Keith reached out. He's like, I'll buy 10 of them right now. There's someone in my house. I'll buy 10 of them. We'll send you the money right now. So people just start sending me this money. And so I'm like, I don't even know how to get the money. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take. And Facebook flags my account, shuts down my whole money thing because they're like, something weird's going on here. This dude in Thailand, people are just sending them money for no reason. And I'm like sitting there thinking, oh man, they shut down my account. Like, how am I going to get the money? So people are already paid. I don't know what to do. Fortunately, as a blessing, the community came together. Keith bought a box. Nicole's like, I'll buy whatever I can to help you. Let's do this. And I forget, I think Lisa LeBar was at Keith's house and people were just, so all of a sudden I'm sitting there like, all right, this could become something. That first month we did 30,000 in sales, or roughly. I figured out anything and everything I can to do to like put this together. I'm like, all right, Vince and Eric, who are my programmers and developers, they had left the building 2 years prior. I don't even want to ask them for their help because they got paid $0 for working me for 2 years. And these guys traditionally make hundreds of thousands of dollars when working on a system. I don't want to say anything to them. I don't even want to ask them. I go get my little butt and sit down on my computer and said, I have all the skills to do this. It might be ugly, but I'll make it work. I go on ClickFunnels. I make a website. I put the product image, and I go into the zone. And then I started to realize, like, all of my failures, all of the past struggles, all of the problems have come into fruition now. Now, I can tell you this, it was ugly, but we made it happen. Because community is so important when you build something. There's 3 really important things: content, community, and cha-ching, the commerce. We have the content. I'm making videos everywhere. People love the content. We've got the community, and then was figuring out the commerce part. And I did it. It was ugly. There was a lot of people who helped. Customer service, shipping, Keith and them are shipping there. We're sending like these thousands of boxes to Portland, and we're just trying to figure it out. I'm like, I don't even know how to track this stuff and pay the affiliates. And I'm like, this is a mess. But we did it because we did it together as a community. If you got a vision, you'll build a community around it. It might not happen overnight. It might not look the way you want it to look. And even though this TH Plus, which to me, it's the #1 nutritional insurance for me. It's my travel insurance. I take it every day. I've been taking it every day since 2018, especially this year where I'm like, I need a strong immune system. I'm taking it everywhere. Now, when people are not flying all over for whatever reason, I'm not even going to say the C word or any C words because the C words are kind of like kooky. I'm not going to get into those, but people aren't traveling around because these C words and people are worried about these C things. I'm going out there traveling this year all over. And I don't mind getting on a flight or in a bus with thousands of people with no mask on. I'm just doing it because I feel like my immune system's strong. And yeah, we did great. We sold $500,000 of those products. I would say that the profit level was literally nothing because all we did is just trying to keep rebuilding and reinvesting. But during that time, I reached back out to Vince and Eric and said, hey, I kind of got something going on. Maybe you could help me out with it. I don't know how to do this. I got like these 300 affiliate sites and I'm making them one by one. It's taking me like an hour to make each one. I don't really think it's tracking properly. I really need your help. And Vince helped me. He gave me this code in like 14 seconds. He's like, use this code. This code will change your life. And all of a sudden the code changed my life. And then I started to talk to Vince and he's like helping me kind of get through it. And I'm like, I don't even want to reach out to Eric and ask him to like make this ugly looking website I have look pretty. Like, I don't even want to ask him yet because, the money's still tight and things are still tough. But eventually the band came back together. And even though that first 2 years, we did well, like financially from starting with $1, profit-wise, we really struggled. It took a long time. But during that time, I was able to travel to 33 countries because in Thailand, as a visitor, you have to leave every month. They gave me an office in the APCO building where I had an office and a brand new computer where I worked literally 100 hours every single week. My only friend, Sarissa, is like, you work so much. Like, I'm waking up at 6 in the morning, I go to work, and I'm coming home at 10 o'clock at night. I like work all day long. And I would meet her like literally every day at lunch. And it was cool because I had that one cool friend there. And then I had one group of visitors once. And guess who they were? Knicole, LaDonna, and Tamika. Knicole came. LaDonna came. Tamika came. And I wished everyone else would have came, but you didn't. They did. They showed up. We had an awesome time. We laughed. We explored. We went to Macau, China. That was a little weird, but we went there. And it was just a cool moment in my life that I'll never forget. We saw elephants. We looked at cool beaches. This one place we stayed was so beautiful. I wish I could go back there now. It's in Phuket. I think it's called Mom Trace. I remember when they were leaving, I got this videos, and I made all these videos, and I ended up losing the SIM card, but I have one video of Knicole, and she's like in tears, and she's just saying like how, you know, grateful she is and how amazing this is. And I just want to say, you know, to Knicole, thank you. Because, you know, she helped me a lot. And even though I'm like, I did start the business when I had $1.71. It wasn't because of me. It was God first in my life, and it was all the amazing people that God brought to me. It was the people who were like, I'm going to be part of this. I don't even know what it is. I'm going to be part of this. I'm going to help you build this. I'm going to help call people. I'm going to help ship packages. I'm going to help you build the website again. And in that first 18 months, it looked good on paper, but it was hard inside. Like I felt like trapped. At the end of it, I honestly felt like, how am I ever going to leave here? I don't know how to scale the business without any money. I didn't know anything about business credit. I didn't have anything rocking on my personal credit. I mean, I didn't know what I know now. If I would have known what I know now, I would have like built my business credit. I would have built my credit. I would have got credit lines. I would have blown that thing up then. But I didn't know what I knew then, what I know now. And that was on design. Because you got to struggle. You got to struggle in life to see who you really are. If you struggle and if you ignore the struggle, because I don't want to struggle no more, there's a lesson in the struggle. The lesson in the struggle will show you your strength and your skills and your tenacity and your hunger and your desire and the things that are hidden, because that's the uncomfort of life. And in the struggle is where I started to see all the blessings. I kept struggling, kept going, and Vince really came up with this super awesome idea like, hey, why don't we go back to where we started originally and do a digital product line? Why don't you do your coaching programs? Why don't we kind of go back to our roots? We'll reorganize it. We'll do a time stamp, and we'll relaunch this thing the right way. And I was standing there in the subway after he came up with this idea, and I see this thing. It says, Discover Thailand. And I was like, no one really knows what Heal is. And I go right on namecheap.com, and I type in discoverheal.com. I'm like, it's available. I buy the domain. I send it to Vince. We start working aggressively to get this thing ready. We come up with this concept called VIP, very important passenger, because I'm like, we're on this adventure as entrepreneurs. I want to help entrepreneurs become their greatest. I don't want to be a product MLM. I don't want to be this like Me Too company. And I had this idea, and we had this concept, this potential partnership that I thought could blow up and get this AppCo product all over the world that didn't work, but it still ended up working to get us where we are right now today. And sometimes in life, God's going to take you on this wild and unexpected adventure to get to exactly where you dream to be. The key is to trust it. Trust the process. And here we are, fast forward. That first month when we did 30,000, then in 2019 on October 3rd, that first night, we did 30,000. And it's kind of like, I never looked back from there. I never looked back and said, you know, that was tough and it wasn't worth it. Because all I thought is like, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, this is like the book you set out to write. It is truly worth it. And we just kept going and growing. That first month in October of last year, we did like 150,000. The second month, we did 185,000. The third month, the end of last year, we did 280,000. Then at the end of the year, I'm like, all right, this $200,000 in debt, I need to get rid of it because it's causing me havoc in my life. And I paid off as much of it as I could. which looking back, I'm like, I don't know if that was the best move, because then it put us in January of this year where we are in a tight space. And I had no idea that the economy was going to change or what would happen with our business. Now, fortunately, we have had the most steady, pristine year ever. And now in November of 2020 has been the best month of our business ever. And it's because of the process. I started this business in 2014. It's not a fly-by-night thing. This isn't a get-rich-quick thing. This is a legacy movement. And what we do is we help entrepreneurs reach their greatest potential. So if you're in any company right now, no matter what kind of company it is, if you're an MLMer, if you're in an MLM, direct sales, if you have your own product line, if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you're a teacher, like, we help you as an entrepreneur build your business on the internet by teaching you the simple, fundamental skills that it takes. Mindset, traffic, conversions is how we started off with as a bulletproof. And that only costs $9.97. And we dive deep so we can get people in. They can start it. They can learn the basics and see what they want to do from there. So if you're watching this, you're like, all right, I want to be bulletproof right now. Buy the bulletproof. Go through that first. And then what we do is then we give you the opportunity to become a VIP. And a VIP is where we basically give you 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears, hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment, energy, effort, all of that. And we give that to you, a completely built business, so you can have a turnkey, automated, ready-to-go business with marketing there, training, education. We have a full hospitality team that comes in and you have a one-on-one coach that gets on the phone with you. And then you have a 15-day VIP experience where I break it down. What you don't want to do and what you do need to do. And trust me when I tell you this, I know. And that's why I went through the length of sharing this entire story. I know what you don't want to do, and I know what to do. So you go in, you just follow the step-by-step system. And as a VIP, then you are eligible to turn around and make money on anything that Heal has involved, number one, or take those skills and apply it to your own business. Anything, whether it's a Heal shirt, the TH Plus immune system product, any of our coaching, any of our live events. As a VIP, we pay you every single day. You want to know why? Going back to where I was, I'm like, I need money now, not tomorrow. So we pay out daily. We do our best to pay out every single day to all of our affiliates and on anything. So for your life, you will have this, because every customer you bring in for your entire life. Now, a disclaimer, this is not an MLM. You don't get paid down 38 levels. We do provide awesome community bonuses where we take 10% of the entire company revenue and we divide it amongst the people who are VIPs in an awesome way. We have a legacy bonus that's 5% and a leadership bonus. A legacy bonus is this. Every month you're active, you get 1 credit towards the bonus at the end of the month. So we just bonus out to our community. The leadership bonus is when you help other people get started and you make that effort, and we pay out 5% to that. And trust me, when the company does $1 million a month, that's a $100,000 bonus that gets paid out. Last year, some affiliates made a $1,900 bonus. A bonus. Now, as we talk about money and my phone cha-chings all day long, there's no financial claims or guarantees. This is not a get-rich-quick thing. This is not a, you're going to come in and start and make money right away and everyone's going to be filthy rich and you're going to turn $1 into multi-millions of dollars and all that. It's not that. I don't want you to think it is. Like, one person's results don't equal the others. But people have started in our company today and made money their first day. We've got nurses, truck drivers, teachers. We have stay-at-home moms, retired and active military, college students. young adults looking for a better way, all the way up to Deborah Swanson, which is one of the reasons I was inspired to do this. Deborah Swanson said, hey, look, Stephen, you are doing a deal that I've never heard in my life. And I've even mentioned it, but what we're doing right now is $1 for $1. For every dollar you spend to build your business, to get education and training and support, we give you $1 for advertising. And we automate it for you so you don't even have to learn any tech skills or anything. We made all of it for you. So you can have advertising starting to go directly to your business. So Deborah Swanson is someone Knicole introduced into Heal. Now, not long ago, I went to Portland and I met Deborah and Knicole. And dude, we had such a fun time. There was no one in Portland anywhere. Everyone was in stay at home. I stayed at a Marriott. We met. We went to the park. We went in the city. There's like no one anywhere. We had pizza. And then we had these donuts that were from Voodoo Donuts. And they're like so good. I got to get one of those donuts right now. I don't even eat donuts, but I'll eat a donut right now with those two girls. We laughed non-stop. Like for hours laughing, driving around in the Heal car. And Deborah is one of the sweetest, most incredible people. I don't know how old she is, but the reason I'm bringing it up is this. Deborah's not working a job. She's not a 9-to-5. She's not a college student. She's wise on the rise. She's ready right now at her age to make a mark on this world and to leave a legacy. And trust me when I tell you this, no one deserves it more than her. She is a blessing to all that know her. She's the salt of the earth. She is a rock solid woman. I met her son. I saw his whole Christmas tree farm. I'm like, I call her Miss Claus. What is it? Anyhow, today, Deborah decided, you know what? And Deborah, if you're watching this, how old are you if you don't mind sharing? I don't want to share because I don't even know. I think she's probably like 45. I don't know. But if you want to share, because I want everyone to understand, it doesn't matter what you've been through, who you are, where you live, what you look like, or how old you are, how young you are, what languages you speak, what kind of job you had. If you just got fired from your job, it literally does not matter. All that matters is you believe that it's your time. And then you dive right in. And today, in the last day, she dove right in. She bought what we call our gold program for $1,200. And we have an elite program that she paid for the entire year, the next 12 months, and spent $2,250. So she spent $3,500 because she knew this was her chance, her golden opportunity to dive in. She's 70. Dude, you are so young looking, and your energy, I mean, she does not have, like, she's 70. That's like blows my mind because her energy, she's like just young. She looks young. Like her vibe is young. She's so lighthearted. She's 70. She's been around the block and she's been around our community for a long time. And she made that decision to go all in. She's like, I want a business for a year. I want the mentorship. I want the coaching. I want the training. I want the guidance. I want the education. I want the advantage, because then what we're giving her is $3,300 worth of advertising traffic directly to her website so her business can start building for her. And so then Knicole gets paid, so in the last week she's made over $1,000 from this. And it's not like Knicole's like, hey, you better buy this thing. She didn't say a word to her. Knicole probably didn't even know. Knicole probably spends an hour a week watching Heal videos. She's not out promoting it or pushing it. It's just like she had a friend, Deborah, that I met in person a couple times that I saw this year during the pandemic. and we had donuts together and laughed. And Deborah made the decision today. So then Knicole gets these cha-chings. And she's like, wow, I made this money. Like, I didn't even do anything. And then she makes this awesome post on her page. And I'm like, dude, what a small world. I would have never even made it to Thailand without Knicole. I would have never bought the heel mobile that I bought, that I ended up never driving, that I was going to live in, that I sold to turn around and get the Forerunner that I have right now. I wouldn't even know Knicole if it wasn't for Keith. And Keith is the one who helped me get the Toyota. And I wouldn't know Keith if it wasn't for Lane, who's the one who I met in Colorado originally, who saw a video that I made in 2013. And he sees a video, and the video is like me saying, you know, I used to be a drug addict and I struggled with this, and this cool song. And he's like, I like this guy. I'm going to reach out to him. He reaches out to me, and he was like literally our only customer in the very beginning, our very first customer who bought what I created in the beginning called the I Am Challenge. It was the bomb. It still is the bomb. And when people watch it, they watch the first video and they like break into tears. And you can buy that from us. If you buy it, we give you $1 for dollar advertising. But anyhow, it's not about that. It's about Lane said, dude, this guy on Facebook, you know, made this video and I connected with him. Long story short, he ends up moving to Colorado, and me, my mom, and Lane lived in a one-bedroom together in the middle of the winter and worked at Vail Resorts for $10 an hour. I was back getting humbled. And then Lane literally lives right down here at the River House at my mom's place right now. I make a video on Facebook like I'm doing right now. This guy, Lane, says this guy, Steven's like me. Everyone thinks we're brothers or twins. He calls Keith out of nowhere. One day said, hey, Keith, you want to get a cup of coffee? He doesn't even know Keith. They sit down and have coffee. I've been to the coffee shop. Keith meets Knicole. I don't even remember how. Same kind of way. Just one of these things that seem like a coincidence. There are no coincidences because God's signature is on everything. Remember that. Then Knicole helps me get the van that I never live in because I was going to live in a van down by the river. And then this guy, Paulo, who I met years ago, asked me if I'm the camera guy, and it opens up just a door to leave. I leave, and then I'm stuck, and I'm like, I feel like I need to go east, but everything else is saying go west, but my heart says go east, but all logic says go west, but all imagination, creativity, calling, the guide on the inside says, no, you're going east. I don't care what you have or what you think. Go this way. And I already learned my lesson. When God tells me to go that way, don't go that way no matter what. So I go east and I get stuck. Knicole bails me out a couple times. I end up in Thailand and the rest is history. Now, the reason I shared with you this deep, detailed story is I want you to understand something. You might be in a place today where you don't know which way to go. Do I go west or east? You need to go the way that your heart, your spirit, your soul, the innermost root of who you are. Because the way that I know it is the Holy Spirit is guiding you where you need to go. And when you're praying at night and you're worried, stop praying about what you're worried about. Start declaring where you're going. Declare victory, healing, wellness, financial abundance. Just declare it in your life. I declare financial abundance in my life. I declare victory. I declare healing. I declare health in my body right now. And guess what's going to happen when you start to do that? When you go from the guy who's sitting on the plane who's like, the plane is the worst seat ever, to like, where's the gratitude? The flow state comes out and I start to write. When you go from the victim to the victor, from depressed to gratitude, guess what happens? Greatness flows in your life. And if you will declare this, I can assure you, it might even happen tonight in an instant. declare someone's going to show up in your life. It might be this video, me speaking to you, and open a new door for you. Be there to help you, to guide you, to work with you, to support you, to believe in you, to encourage you, to speak life into you. Because most of us are surrounded by negative people who have no vision and they have a poverty mindset. And someone's going to show up in your life and some door of opportunity is going to open. And guess what? You got to only do one thing. Logic, imagination. West, east. Safety, unknown. Comfort, uncomfort. Limitation, abundance. What the world says, society says, my friends say, my family says, my teacher said, my boss said, or what God says to me. And whatever's inside of your heart is where you're supposed to go because the guide inside is showing you. And that's why I shared this whole deep story, because all I want you to do is trust that part of you. That is the key to all things in life. As you believe, so shall it be done to you. That's why I have it written right on my whiteboard. As you believe, so shall it be done to you. There it is. I wrote my goal, 1,000 per month, heal. I wrote down Daniel's goal, which is 45,000 per month by October 2021. I wrote down all the places I'm going to travel to. All the places that I'm planning to travel to next. Because I'm like, I'm going to go to these places. That's kind of cool. This thing just turns. I guess I can do anything in this cool little studio. I'm going to go to these places. I'm going to go back to Bali. I'm going to Bora Bora. I'm going to Fiji. I'm going to Indonesia. I'm going to Iceland, Jamaica, Israel, Iceland. I put Iceland twice. Japan, New Zealand, Aruba, the Maldives, and the Kokomo. I'm going to Kokomo. Right here are first class seats that I've gotten. I wrote down all my dreams. Put God first. I wrote down the dreams that I've had. I wrote down right here so I could read it over and over. Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it will be open to you. Set a definite goal. Stop running yourself down. Wake up and live. Act like it is impossible to fail. And when all else fails in your life, remember this, Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you, and you only have to be silent. So anyhow, I just wanted to inspire and encourage and lift up some of you. I wanted to educate you on what our company is really all about, what this really is, who we really are, where we're really going. And those cha-chings, that's someone else in this community who's making money right now. And to me, every time I hear that noise, my heart is filled. Because I'm like, whether it's $500 a month for you, $5,000 a month for you, or $45,000 a month for you, or $1 million a month for you, whatever it is, if it can help someone else, it's worth it. And the way we made this is like to really help entrepreneurs. And this is the stuff that I have never seen any company ever create. This is the missing link in many marketing companies, networking companies. They forgot that you need personal and professional development. They forgot to really teach you how to actually market the business now, not last year, not 10 years ago. Personal and professional development, sales and marketing, branding, websites and funnels, capture pages, email follow-ups, how to get different sources of traffic, organic and paid, messaging, storytelling. I mean, a company can provide you with a great product. But what else do we really need? We need emotional mastery. We need great energy, vitality. We need clarity. We need to learn how to set goals and achieve them. And then when we do all that, we understand our why, we understand our drive. Then we need the sales, marketing, investing, driving traffic, branding, all of these other things that cha-ching, 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 cha-ching all day long. Yet the night before when I slept, I woke up and the next day I was like, dude, we did like $3,000 when I was asleep in sales. It's worth it. I invite you right now to be part of this family. You don't need to leave your current company. You don't need to quit your job. There's no big risk. You don't have to make a huge investment. Literally, you don't have to make any investment. Pull out your card, spend $10 and do the bulletproof. Pull out your card and spend $49 and get a completely built for you business. Take a leap of faith like Deborah Swanson. Like, I want a business for the whole year. Spend $450, $1.23 a day. Become an elite member. Go all in and be real serious about this. And do that to build your better future. But the thing is this. I can say whatever I want to. I can do whatever I did. It's what do you want and what will you do to get your dreams and to achieve them. I did the work. I went to the road less traveled. I left all safety behind. And I worked relentlessly until I won. And now that I've won, I even work harder than then. But we have a big team. We have a whole hospitality staff that does most of the heavy lifting for you. We have great developers and designers and videographers and all that great stuff. So we help you. You don't have to come in. You're never going to be alone. Our community is there to help you. And this right now, which we're basically at the very end of it, the dollar for dollar promo, is something that I did this year because I knew a lot of people were struggling in all over the world. I knew that 450 million jobs were lost this year. I know some people will never have their job back. I know that the education system is completely upside down right now. The health system is crazy. The political arena is wild. The traditional work force is messed up. I know it's going to get worse. I know it's going to change drastically. And I know that I'm going to make a big impact and make a difference. So as the CEO of this company, I said, look, I started with $1. I had nothing. You know, why don't you just like spend this whole month and give away all the profits and take every dollar you got and reinvest it back into people so they can have an opportunity to live their absolute best life. So you can wait and you can come back to this in 6 months and we'll be 6 months better. Or you start now. And in 6 months from now, you look back and say, that was the best decision of my life. And leverage what we have going on. Leverage the opportunity because it's a divine moment. It's when I was saying, hey, look, I'm going to do everything I can to help as many people as I can now while they're in this place. And I give you $1 for every dollar you spend to start your business to get involved. You can spend up to $4,500. And you're going to have enough, you're going to have more than a good college education. You're going to have a fully built business that's automated. You're going to have all the training, all the resources. You're going to have traffic going to your business. You're going to have support. You're going to have a whole team working for you on your behalf and with you. We even go way above and beyond and do Facebook ads for everyone in our company. We pay for it. So as soon as you bring in a lead, we start to advertise on your behalf and pay for it so they can see what we're all about and get involved in the company. And no other company does that. Show me another one. I'd love to see it. So this is the whole kit and caboodle, as they said. And what I wanted to tell you is that I started with $1 in a dream. And you can too. And thank you to Knicole, to Lane, to Keith, To my brother Paul, the first one who ever believed in me. Thank you to Deborah Swanson for going above and beyond. Thank you to LaDonna, who served and helped our community forever, who has a healed tattoo and came to Thailand. Thank you to Tamika for coming there. You know, thank you to Dr. Bichette and your entire staff who made me a home and gave me a chance. You know, thank you to Sarissa, the great friend I had while I was there. She's still one of my best friends. Thank you to Vince and Eric, who I could have never done this without. Like, they have been the critical backbone of all this. Like, they're the ones who make me look good. You know, thank you to our entire hospitality staff, Mandy, Adam, and you know, like what they've done to come in here and just really put the pedal to the metal. And our hospitality staff is growing. It's growing every day. As I look down, you know, I see Isabella, who just commented, who's there in our hospitality staff. And like every day, our team grows and gets better and better. You know, thank you to Tracy. Thank you to all of the affiliates, all of our partners, all of our providers who help us with every step of this business. Thank you to all the VIPs, all the elites. Thank you to my mom, who's just been the angel of all angels for this. Thank you to my dad, Melissa, who helped me long back ago when I had nothing. And they made a big difference. So yeah, I started with $1. But I wasn't alone. And I didn't do it all. I had a whole army. And you know why? That army was already there. You have an army in your life. There to work with you. To help you. To show you how to do it. To guide you so you can learn, grow. You might have to lead the army, but the army's there for you. But you must ask for it. You must seek. You must knock. You must believe. You must receive and allow it. And if you watch this entire video, I'm sure you saw something inside of you that you're going to move into motion now. I am so blessed to have achieved all of this. And last but not least, I just want to thank God. Because God's the one who showed me, don't give up. Don't go home yet. Don't stop pushing on. Don't grow weary in doing good. And I trusted that. And that's all you got to do. Trust it inside of you. Believe that you can do this. Just believe it in your heart. I know after that, you're going to be sitting there one day and you're like, man, you know what? You're going to be telling your kids, your grandkids, your wife, it's worth it. It's worth it. It was worth it. And that's kind of where it all began. It's time to heal. Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day. It's on you. Now, because I'm back here and I got to walk up there to end it, just want to end it with this. If you want to begin and heal today, just comment below heal. Shoot me a personal message. Shoot a message to whoever invited you here. If you shoot me a message, I'm just going to find out who invited you here, and I'm going to set you up with them, and we're going to get you started in your business today. You don't need experience. There's no risk. You're not making an investment. You know, we're not an investing company where you're getting back some percentages. You're starting a real business, and you're getting real education. And we're going to guide you. We're going to walk with you. We're going to work with you. And we're going to help you. Have what you deserve, have what you want, have what you hope for. And I would say the number one thing that people got from this heal was their life back. You know, people got what they always deserved in the beginning. And now it's your time. It's time to heal.